My name is Rich Madden. I'm a full-time merchant mariner, part-time maritime instructor, founder of the Maritime Safety Innovation Lab, and completely obsessed with safety and being human in the maritime industry. And here is the Being Human podcast.
Good morning. We're on our way across the Atlantic right now, and I thought I'd bring you along on the morning weather update. The program I'm using is an app for Apple MacBook Pro, and it's called LuckGrib, LuckGrib. It's not a very expensive program. I'll have to go back and take a look to see what it actually cost. But the first thing we're going to do is import a new GRIB file. The GRIB file is a gridded binary file that's downloaded from NOAA or one of the other meteorological organizations, and gives you basically the raw data. So I'm going to go and we're going to take the GFS, the Global Forecast System, which is by NOAA. I'm going to be looking for pressure, wind, significant wave height. I think today I will take a look at the geopotential height at the 500 millibars, as well as the wind at the 500 millibar. And that'll be it for that data. It's going to ask us for a region, the region that we want to download the information for. The bigger the region, the bigger the package. So right now with this particular one, it's from about 13 north to 55 north, 4 west to 98 west. It's going to be a 5.3 megabyte package as it is right now, but we're going to make a couple of changes. First thing is forecast times are going to change to every hour. We've got about 6 days left in our crossing, so we're going to change that to 6 days. And then the resolution, we're going to go for the maximum resolution, bring it down to every quarter degree. So every 15 nautical miles we'll get some data. Now that took the file size from something relatively small to something moderate sized. But we have a pretty good internet right now, so we will go ahead and download this file. Now that we have our new GRIB file loaded, we can update our position. It is the 1st of December at 0800 GMT. And our current position is 38 degrees, 12 minutes north. And 034, 42.3 west. 034 degrees, 42.3 minutes west. And you'll see a red position come up on our chart. And we'll advance the forecast to the current time. And based on the current forecast, we should have wind out of the north at about 20 knots, which we do. It's always nice when things match. So we'll go ahead and start advancing this through the day. We can advance it hour by hour because that's the forecast that we have. And as we advance it hour by hour, we see that the wind is going to veer. It's going to go to the northeast and then east, and eventually around to the southeast and build. So by 0900 UTC, GMT, wind's going to be out of the southeast at a little over 25 knots. And the wind waves and swell are going to build about 12 feet. 12 feet is somewhere around 3.5 meters. So not too bad, but it's going to be wind waves and swell will be on the quarter. So it'll be rolling a little bit more. As we continue to advance this, we see that we're going to likely have a cold front approaching. As we pass through the cold front, the wind will shift to the north. build to about 30 knots, but the wind waves and swell won't be too bad because it doesn't have a lot of time to build up. It's always nice to compare sources, so now we can pull up the Ocean Prediction Center's website. You're looking at the Atlantic. If we look at the current Atlantic analysis, and somewhere around our position of 38 north, 35 west, so 38 north and 35 west, we see that cold front that's going to be approaching. And wind and sea should be relatively moderate. Let's go back and take a look at the wind and wave analysis. See. So here, 38 north, 35 west, should be in 2 to 3 meter seas, and that is about what we are experiencing. Again, always nice when things match. And if we take a look at the next couple of days, 48-hour forecast from the Ocean Prediction Center, we are currently at 38, 35, so in 2 days we are going to be much further along. But we see this cold front that's going to build through and that we're going to go through. Then we'll get into a nice area of high pressure. Let's go ahead and take a look out to 96 hours. This is valid on the 4th of December at 1200 UTC, which is going to be about 2 days before we get into New York. And we will likely be meeting up with this cold front before we get in. So gale force winds, 34 knots and above. All in all, not too bad a forecast. If we take a look at the 500 millibar, 500 millibar is a ISO height chart. So the altitudes at which the 500 millibar occur change. So here is the 500 millibar overlaid with the 500 millibar winds. Look at our current position. So the thick black line here is the 5,640 meter line. Every 60 meters you have a ISO height line. So that's 5640, that's 5700, 5760, and then same thing, or the opposite going to the north. In general, for weather routing, you want to keep yourself out of the 5700 to the 5400 line. It's generally the strong wind belt. So we are running south of the 5700 line right now, so I'm expecting some pretty good weather. You're going to find that the 5640 line is pretty indicative of how weather systems are going to track, and we can actually see that motion on the forecast charts where weather systems are moving basically following that 5640 line. So expecting pretty decent weather for the rest of the crossing. As we can, we'll take more of a look at LuckGrib. LuckGrib is a pretty versatile program in terms of weather routing and keeping an eye on the weather. As always, you want multiple sources of information for any of your weather routing and weather forecasting to ensure that you're getting the best possible information and that you have a safe voyage. Let's be safe out there.